What's up with my peoples? How y'all doing and how y'all feeling today? Of course, I am your host for the show for the Brain Rinse podcast, Mr. Sway. And first of all, what I need everybody to do is if you on the page, subscribe to the page, like the page, hit the like button, and click the little bell on the side if you want to get notifications for when I drop a video or post a live. So you know you will be tuned in. And you know everything that comes with that. So this is my first official interview, and I have a very, very, very special guest on that is attached to the show. We're going to speak on Christianity and modern day women, marriages, and things that are going on in the world, as such as like that. And this guy here, he's definitely like a father figure to me. He somewhat played a part in raising me. You know, I used to go to church with him when I was younger. And, you know, he's a mentor. I call him for advice. I call him, you know, for all types of sorts of things. He is a graduate from OU College in Oklahoma. He's also a graduator of dispensational theological seminaries. 43 years of marriage, never stepped out on his wife, not one time. And I'm going to just throw this in there. If I myself had to give the definition of someone that is a Christian that's actually living the word, it would be him. You understand? Like, you know, you got a lot of people out here that are, you know, they say they Christians, but you know, they're not living the word. This is someone who's actually living the word. And I have the ultimate respect for this man. And he has 3 sons, 12 grandchildren, 26 years in the ministry. And he is a retiree. He worked from FedEx for 29 years. So if everybody would just go ahead and I'm going to add him to the stage. This is Pastor Kevin. And hey, man, what's going on?
Ron, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm sorry about the deficiency from earlier, man. But yeah, man. How's your new year going so far?
So far, so good. I mean, 3 days in, I didn't set any New Year's resolutions because you never. Who lives up to New Year's resolutions, right?
Nobody. I don't. I try not to do the New Year's resolution thing because, like you just said, it never happens or whatever. But how are the kids doing, man? How Courtney and Jeff and everybody doing?
Oh, they're doing great.
How's Joyce doing?
Joyce is Joyce. You know how Joyce is.
All right. Say again.
I said she's doing really good.
Okay. Okay. Let's jump in. Tell her I said hey too. All right. Let's jump into it. First of all, I want to talk about, because, you know, like I said, you a guy, you've been married for 43 years, which, that's definitely a long, that's some of these people's lifetimes and stuff out here. And I mean, I'm not going to say that I couldn't see myself being married for that long, but that was something that I would like to do. But just tell me, man, how'd you make it happen? Because my longest relationship has probably been 4 years. And I would say out of the 4 years, well, I had one for 4 years and another one for 4 years. And I would say that I'm not, you know, every relationship has their good times and their bad times, but, you know, obviously it didn't last. So, you know, tell me some of the things that you did to keep your marriage sacred, to keep it where y'all didn't have to come to the point of divorce and stuff like that. Tell me some of the things that you sacrificed. Give me some advice, some more advice.
I don't know if you remember, but, you know, me and Joyce, we got married when we were 19. And
Right.
We met in college.
Okay.
Like for the first 5 years, we fought like cats and dogs.
Right.
We ended up getting a divorce. We did for about a year. And then we got remarried.
Okay.
So the difference between the first part and the second part, I would say, is having a spiritual perspective of life. So you have, so what has happened in our broader society, and people don't realize it, is they've been hoodwinked. So what you are getting from Hollywood, from most of the communications that you're getting from the world, school, whatever, all it is secularism. Secularism has a view of life and how life works that don't work. And people don't do it, right? So what we did is that we just went back to scripture and we started growing spiritually. And so in that, you come to some conclusions. Like, for example, from a secular point of view, they tell you that the best relationship is 50-50. Well, that's an absolute lie.
Okay.
It's not true. The best relationship, and this blows people's mind when I say this, the best relationship is 100% zero.
What do you mean by 100% zero?
Well, because what makes a relationship good is that you meet someone. So we do like a lot of premarital counseling, and we always tell the people at the first time that we have counseling is this: look at ask yourself the question, can I be with that person and can I give them 100% of me regardless of whether they respond or not?
Okay.
And if the answer is no, get up and don't just walk away from this table. Run as fast as you can. Get away from, because really it's not going to work. You have to find somebody that you're committed to, that you're going to love this person, and it's not based upon how they respond.
Okay.
Once you say to someone, I will only love you based upon how you respond, now what's happening is you really don't love that person.
Right.
Your love is conditional.
Right.
It's conditional to how they respond to you.
Right.
Reality, true love is that I'm going to love that person regardless. And you know what that does, Tyrone? If each person is committed to loving that individual regardless of how they respond, it provides security for each of the individuals. That you know that person has my best interest 100% of the time. And that provides security for you to be able to operate. Now, I'm not trying to do something to appease myself to you. I'm not feeling like that I'm having to justify myself to you. I can be at ease. And it really creates a wonderful relationship.
Well, that I agree with you totally 100%. That's just like this morning. You don't be on social media like that, like I do. But what's the girl's name? The one that was with Travis Kelce before she got with Taylor Swift. Nicole something Nicole. They actually blasting her on the internet right now because she did an interview and she was saying that she doesn't go 50-50 with men or whatever, and she got dropped like a bad habit, you know what I'm saying? And now he's with Travis Kelce, of course, we all know is with Taylor Swift. But see, when me and you talk, when we have a lot of these conversations, the thing is, and you're absolute, I agree with you on 90 to 95% of the things that you say. And see, one thing that you have to understand is you've been with the same woman for 43 years. You understand? Versus me, I will admit that, man, I don't want to begin to tell you the women that I don't with. And I tried. You know what I'm saying, Kev? I've been with women that have kids. I've been with women that were promiscuous. I've been with women I don't even want to go on and on and on.
Yeah, but Tyrone, you have to know what you're looking for.
I know what I'm looking for.
Like somebody said to me that you get what you fish for, right? So if I wanted to fish for trout, then I know where to go to fish for trout. If I want to fish for bass, I know where to go to fish for bass. And so as you understand what you're looking for. And here's the thing to me is it's not fair to a woman I'm just saying from a man's point of view. It's not fair for a woman for me to go and find a woman who doesn't fit what I know I'm looking for in a wife, because I can't change her. And this is one of the fundamental flaws that people have, is they get with someone and they see all of the flaws the person have and they want to change them. Well, that's not really love, right?
No, it's not. But the thing is, I've changed. You know, I've been with women in certain
But
circumstances.
it's different. It's for you one, and they are trying to. I've changed in our marriage and our relationship, but it's been me wanting to change. When
Right.
you are with someone and they are trying to change you, it's not right.
I mean, it depends though.
Everything that someone is.
If I'm living in a life of sin and I get with someone and she wants to change me from having a sinful nature and being a righteous man, that's a great change, wouldn't you say?
No, because the thing about it is that, and that's a fundamental problem. Everything has to be voluntary.
Okay.
You cannot extract things from people that they don't want to do. And somebody told me this a long time ago, and it took me a while to wrap my mind around it, but I'm convinced it's true. And it's this: a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
Right.
You cannot make someone change into something they don't want to be.
Okay.
And the only way that you can actually get people to change is it has to be something they want to do.
Okay.
And so what are most relationships filled with? People trying to manipulate other people into being the person that they want them to be.
Right.
You can't want it more than that person wants it.
No, not at all. So, and that's just like
you agree that that's the case, right?
Yes, I do agree.
You probably have been with women that are trying to change you, right?
Oh yeah.
And from the very beginning, it ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
You go along with it, right?
Right. Just because you want to, do whatever. It's neither here nor there. But just like you said when you told me, I will be a man and admit that I frequented a lot of places that I shouldn't have been to obtain the type of woman that I want to obtain. And you're right, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what a lot of men do. I've dated, I just want to tell you some of the type of women that I've dated. And I'm not embarrassed to say it, I've dated strippers.
Oh my,
harlots, and just see, I've actually.
What were you expecting from those women?
Well, the thing is, it was all lust and sexual in the beginning. You understand? I had a girlfriend that I was dating, and actually she became that while we were together, because she felt like I broke her heart and she had to go, you know what I'm saying? Just stuff I kind of really don't want to get too in depth into. But I look at it like this. I think that society paints a picture to women like they supposed to run the relationship.
So here's the thing. So you have the book. Remember, you've heard of that book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, or whatever it was.
Yeah, I heard of it. I haven't read it though.
But here's the reality of it is that from a scriptural point of view, when I came to understand this, it made our marriage work a lot better.
Wait a minute, but let me ask you this question. So you said that y'all were together for how long before y'all split up? 5 years?
About 5 years.
And then were you unfaithful within those 5 years?
Well, we weren't married. So
all right, you're right. Okay, so y'all was just dating for so y'all were dating for the 5 years, y'all split up, or y'all got married at the end of the 5 years and then got divorced and then remarried?
No, so we met in college at 19, and actually it was before 18. So we got married at 19.
Okay.
19.
I couldn't saw myself being married at 19.
somebody 19 years old back in 1979 or 80 was thinking at a different level than a 19-year-old today.
Right.
I would say that the difference probably may be about 5 to 10 years.
Right. Yes.
Because people at that time were thinking on a serious level. A 19-year-old today is probably thinking on a 12-year-old level.
Exactly. Yes, for real.
Right? I mean, would that be fair to say?
Yes, so, absolutely.
We got married at 19, and then so from being married at 19, we were married for 5 years. I think it was 5 to 6 years, and then we ended up getting a divorce.
Okay.
And then we got back together about a little over a year later.
I thought you just said that y'all wasn't married though when you was being unfaithful and stuff like that.
No, I said that when we were divorced, I did date other people.
Oh, okay. So you didn't, y'all was divorced.
Yeah, we were divorced. We were divorced for a year, maybe a little bit over a year. And so then, I mean that was the question is whether we were going to go our separate ways. But, I don't think it was God's will for us to do that. And I think God brought about the circumstances for us to get back together.
So how did y'all end up meeting back up after y'all was divorced? Did y'all keep in contact or?
So it was an interesting thing. My Joyce's mother and father had been divorced and they were getting remarried. And they invited my parents, my mother and father, to their wedding. And so they went. And so my dad talked to Joyce during that time about us. And he was, and they had a long conversation. So then he came back and told me about the conversation. And he told me, man, if I were you, I wouldn't let that woman go. She's a good woman. And you will be making a huge mistake if you don't try to get back with her or y'all try to work this out.
Right.
So, I mean, that opened the door. And then as we talked, we saw that it was a good thing that we got back together. And we were different then. It was interesting that year apart.
I had grown some.
Right. And so when we got back to get together, but we got married again. And then, I mean, it's not like the marriage was perfect then. It was still rocking and rolling, but it was much better than it used to be.
Right.
There was a trajectory where it was going up.
Okay.
Right. Okay. And so then when I went to seminary, they had this class that taught about it's really just taught how to recognize your spiritual enemies and how to have victory over them. So once I went through that class, and it took me a while to really wrap my mind around it, one of the things I saw, particularly in scripture, was, all women really want, and I'll challenge any woman listening to this to tell me whether this is true or false. All women really want, and you see this from the Bible, and this is totally different than what the society will tell you. And I would tell you this, Tyrone, even for your feminists, anybody who says they're a feminist, I don't think that women really hate men. I don't believe that.
I don't either.
You might have a few out there that really do. But I think women are angry at men. And why are they angry at men? Because all a woman really wants, and you see this outlined in scripture, is they want to be secure. They want a man that's going to make them feel secure physically. They want a man that can make them secure financially. They want a man that can make them secure emotionally. They want a man that provides for their entire security.
Do you believe
angry? Hold on a second. They're angry because they have not had a man, which really it starts with your father.
Okay.
They have not had a man that provided for them the security they inherently know they need. Because it's built within women to want this from men. And I know you got women out there say, oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, there's women. I'm going to tell you what. Let me give you a truth serum. Some of them you would have to give a truth serum before they tell you the truth that that's really what they really want.
Right.
And their men don't understand that. I don't think women are complicated at all. I think that women really want to feel secure.
Well, like I said, you've been dealing with the same woman for 43 years and, and that's a great thing. You haven't been around here dating. That's why when me and you have these conversations, a lot of what you're saying, matter of fact, the majority of what you're saying is absolutely true. But modern day women of society, like just say if you didn't have a wife right now and you were out there looking for a wife, well, it might be a little easy for you because you know where to go look for your woman at, stuff like that. And you know, us as men, you know, we run around here and you know, we got lust stuff all in us, but nowadays women they're just not the same, and that's why a lot of the topics that we discuss, I just say like, man, I've been dealing with all kinds of women. I've been dealing with all kinds of women, Christian women. You know what I'm saying? I've had a couple of those too, but you know, due to the fact with my beliefs, you know, and it's like this with modern day women, just like we all know. When I look at women nowadays, I actually get it and I understand when a woman is doing for herself, paying her own bills, taking care of her kids or whatever. I kind of feel her a little bit to when she has the attitude is, what do I need to submit to a man for?
Okay, so here's the thing. But here's the thing. So even these women that are they're paying, and I don't begrudge them that. I think it's great that women can do that. But then if those women were so secure, Tyrone, have you ever asked yourself, why did they even get married?
Right. I just, this is my thing with, and you know, like maybe I am, and maybe my mind, I will admit and say that my mind is kind of like saturated a little bit with social media and stuff, because I've seen a lot of women out there that, you know, I would love to, you know, try to have a relationship with or whatever. But man, these girls out here nowadays, they just, you know, I feel like a lot of them, they just don't have the mind frame. I'm not saying all of them, but I just feel like a lot of them don't have the mind frame of what it takes to be a wife.
Well, but the reason is that you understand. So the whole process has broken down. Just imagine if you had a factory, and that factory, say, was a car factory, and it was to produce the entire car. So that by the end of the process, the car had everything that it needed. Okay. So look at a family this way, as like a factory. And so the person is born into the family, and the father is supposed to give that person one thing, and the mother something else. And so now what you're seeing is that because of the breakdown of the family, the person is getting to the end process that where they're coming off the assembly line, and they are not equipped with everything that they need. Look,
right.
You don't think that a woman not having a father around is a big thing? That is a huge thing.
Right. And the majority of them don't. And see, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I remember when I was in high school and you wanted to date a girl and you called. This was before they had cell phones, Tyrone. You called on the phone, and then if the father answered the phone, you hung up.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. I went through that too.
The father was the gatekeeper.
I'm trying to tell you.
And so there was direction given to the family from a father. And so people have bought the lie. They have bought, and it is a lie, that men don't matter. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. And those are the man, how many women out here nowadays that you probably don't, well, you don't speak to many women, but I be out here. I just met this chick probably about 3 weeks ago. So man, I take your advice. You gave me great relationship advice, because you know I've never been married before, and I would love to have a wife now. But it's like when you meet, like going back to the example of this chick that I made. She when I met her, and once we started talking or whatever, that's all she kept trying to do was just dominate. You know what I'm saying? I don't play. I don't play with men. You know, that's all she kept trying to say was she don't play. And I'm like, look, is we gonna talk about what we, you know what I'm saying? Us, we supposed to be doing our thing or whatever. Is you gonna keep freaking telling me about how you don't play? That's not.
Do you know what she was doing?
What she was doing?
That's a security mechanism. She's trying to put up this front in order to protect herself, right? And the thing about it is, I feel bad for women today.
I do too. Yes, I do.
Because first of all, men are not men anymore. I mean, you have a lot of men who are not men. I mean, they're just not men. And you just see, they don't even know what it means to be a man anymore.
No, they don't.
right?
I know.
And so you have women having to contend with that. And then the fact is that I mean, they have been left to dry, and then they're being lied to by the society that you can
Right.
have all that, you know, your career and all of that. That leaves a lot of women empty, and I would challenge any woman to listen to that.
Right.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Man, I know what it is with a lot of these women, man. And you got a lot of women out here that want to be men. They want to be in control of the man. You know, they want, like, do you believe that nowadays in a relationship that a man should take care of everything? Because I actually believe if I was stable enough and I was making a decent amount of money, yes, I would take care of my wife, and no, she wouldn't have to pay any bills or like that. But the thing is, if I'm gonna take care of you and I'm gonna pay all the bills and, you know, be your security and all that, you're not gonna be out here doing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be walking around here half naked, going on trips and stuff with your friends,
But that's
going off your body parts. And these are hold on for a second. These are the things that women don't understand.
but that's going to be ferreted out, though, Tyrone, based upon who you decide to marry to begin with.
Right. Okay.
So the assumption is you're not going to end up with a woman who's going to do that.
Right.
Because you've already ferreted that out.
Okay.
Right? So when I met Joyce, for example, so when I first got to the University of Oklahoma campus, there was other women that I dated. But I knew in my mind the kind of woman I was looking for. So because I already knew that in my mind, I knew who it was when I saw it.
Okay.
Right. So now that category of people. Now there were other women I saw that I could have dated at school, but I knew what kind of woman that was, and I knew what the results of that would be, and I didn't want that.
Hey man, and I want you to know this. I've been taking all your advice too, bro. I've been taking all your advice. Like, you know, I'm just, you know, I come from, of course, I was born here in Oklahoma City, but I come from Atlanta, Georgia, where there's nothing, you know, that's the city with the beautifulest women in the country. And I thought a lot through lust. You understand what I'm saying? I thought a lot through lust. And I actually got into my first relationship when I was 19. And, you know, my son's mom, I only have one son. You know, my son's mom, you know, we were in love. But I'll be the first to admit that it was me that wrecked the relationship and stuff like that. Because, you know, I was young, man. And, you know, I was cheating and stuff like that. And, you know, I'll be the first to admit that. I will be the first to admit that. I mean, you know, I due to the facts of like the way that women think in society, like I've had it in my mind on a bunch of occasions to just, you know, just get what you want to get from them and just go. But just like you told me, when you see the one, you're gonna know that it's her. And lately, like I've been abstinent for probably like maybe almost 2 months. Like I'm not really out here trying to just, you know, be lustful and take advantage of women, stuff like that. I've listened to everything you say. I'm not in clubs trying to find women and, you know, things of that nature. So I'm trying to do the right thing, man. I really, really, really am. But it just seems like, actually, to be honest with you, Oklahoma is a little different from Atlanta. There are humble women here. There are women on here that are trying to, you know, find a husband and stuff like that. But I just looked at it like, man, you ain't ready. But, you know, I guess I would say that I was caught up in my lust. So I stuck around and, you know, tried to get what he wanted. You know?
But see, one of the things that, you know, I mean, it's not complicated. You just, so people, here's my thing. People tell you about who they are. They really do. You just have to listen to them.
Right. Yes. And see, that's why, you know, a lot of times when I would meet a woman, I would say things like, you sometimes I would just sit there and talk. I would let them, because I used to be the first one to come off. Oh, I do this and I do that. But sometimes I just sit back and observe and I just let her talk. You know what I'm saying? I can be the one to get the information so I can figure out if this is someone that I might want to pursue marriage with. You understand what I'm saying?
Which I mean, if, for example, if you were, people are not as thoughtful that way. I mean, they're not thinking about what someone is saying to them.
Right.
So I know guys end up in situations because their hormones are all out of control, and they can't control their hormones.
Right.
You have to.
That's most men nowadays.
You have to control your hormones. Get your hormones under control, because, and I understand it. I mean, women are dressing today in ways. I mean, who would have thought 20 years ago that women would be wearing some of the stuff they wear or don't wear? I mean, it's really astonishing.
Right.
So if you are weak as far as lust is concerned, you're not going to make it off first base.
Right. No. You're going to get gunned down at first base.
Yeah, right. You're going to, I mean, I think women are doing that because a lot of those women have been, so some of it they say is the style, but there are women who don't go for that. I mean, my wife doesn't wear stuff like that.
No, I know.
So it's not just style. It's people, the women are insecure.
Exactly. That's why they get fake body parts and stuff like that. Like,
they're wearing that. And I've heard women have said that the reason that they dress that way is they like the attention they get from men.
Right. Which is
trash. It's bad. I mean, you don't want to get that kind of attention from them.
Because you're going to get exactly what you asking for, just attention. So
what you fish for is going to be what you get. And so the only kind of man that you're going to attract is going to be a deviant, more than likely.
So we ain't really got that much time left. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the topic. I got a question for you. Where do you think that the world is going today? You know what I mean? What's your opinion on the ways of the world today when we got politics and stuff like that? First of all, I wanted you to speak on, how God has made a difference in your life. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, and I'm going to say it again, like, you a great dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, super great dude. I know a lot of people that's watching the chat, they don't know you, but I know you, and you're a great dude. So I want you to, if you can, speak on, how God changed your life and some of the directions that we're going into in today's world.
Okay, so so I told you I think I came to believe like when I was in the 4th grade, but I never did live like it. And it wasn't until so I was a sports writer in Oklahoma, and then God directed me away from that. He didn't want me to do that. He just started closing all the doors, and I knew that he wanted me to pastor. Okay. So seminary, we went out to Oregon, and I went to seminary, and we were out there for 8 years. And the thing that struck me, though, is that even that you can have a lot of knowledge, but it doesn't mean that you're going to. But it was one day God showed me this, and it really, really changed my life. Kevin, you are no good. Do you know it's the total opposite of what the world is trying to tell people? They're trying to tell people that, you are the greatest, you're wonderful, you got it, and all of this.
I was talking to this chick one time, and that's like, people, I see people post. I posted it on my Facebook before. I said, that is the problem with everybody. They swear up and down that they're so freaking great. And you're not great.
And they know. I think that the problem is, Tyrone, they inherently know it. And so for example, my nephew, I asked him, I said, we were talking about this. He thought he was a good guy. I said, I can prove you ain't no good. And he says, how? I said, I can prove it. I said, okay, well, let's do this. If you're such a good guy, let's do this. What if I could take all of the thoughts that have gone through your mind over the last few days and project them on a big screen for everybody to see? Every time that a thought goes through your mind, would you want to do that? He said, oh, no, I wouldn't want to do that.
Okay.
I said, why? You're a good guy. All
right.
that go through your mind should just be wonderful thoughts, right?
Right.
He said, no. Those are my personal thoughts. I said, you know why you don't want me to do that? It's because you're no good. Admit it. And every single person and every single individual have those thoughts going through their mind. And it's proof that what scripture says is true. There is none righteous, no, not one.
Right.
The heart of man is deceitfully wicked and desperately sick. Who can know it?
Right.
And so that once you admit that to yourself, it frees you to be able to actually live life. A lot of people are doing nothing but living a lie.
Exactly. And see, these are the reasons why I want to have these conversations with men like you, you know, and I don't want to get into, you know, an introduction of the hideous things that I've done in life. I've slept around, I've sold drugs, I've been to prison, I've hurt people, you know, and now that I'm 46 years old, I just look at it like, is you going to do that for the rest of your life? And I want to make a difference in somebody's life, even if it ain't nothing but just one person, bro. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy anymore. You know what I'm saying? I just there, and you know, I just, it's like I want redemption for myself from the terrible things that I've done. You know what I'm saying? That's
everybody's going to come to that point in life. And I don't care what people say, that when you're lying on your deathbed, and it's going to happen to everybody, you're going to give an assessment of your life. And you're going to ask yourself, you know, what was the point of this? Was there a purpose? Was I living with purpose? It's all fun until it comes to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing that I say with, you know, I was talking to a guy the other day and he said something about the mass shootings. And I was like, what happened? And he was like, something happened, some BS happened. Woo, woo, woo. But he was like, man, I really don't know about it and I don't even care. But I just was looking at it like, yeah, that's the problem with a lot of people today. We don't love each other and we don't care until it comes knocking on our door or it shows up on our doorstep.
So
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
How, why, where is this going? Well, the Christianity has been overrun by secularism. Secularism is the belief that, you know, God doesn't know what he's talking about. The Bible is just empty. It doesn't have any understanding of truth. And so humanism and the belief that man is smart enough to know how to construct his own life has set in, and that's affecting the decisions that many people are making, from who they marry, where they go to school, how they live, whether I take this or that, whether I kill this person, not kill that person. It's all secular. We are living in a secularized society. And so the end result of that is going to be that you're going to have this guy come on the scene that is going to actually manipulate people, which people call the Antichrist, really is known in the Bible as the man of lawlessness. And I think we're butting right up against it.
Who do you think the Antichrist may be? Who do you think that the Antichrist could be?
I mean, I don't think that you will know before he's revealed. So in 2 Thessalonians, it says that the Holy Spirit is restraining this guy from coming onto the scene, and that there has to be a guy like that at every generation, because Satan doesn't know when he's going to be given the opportunity to trot this guy onto the scene. So this guy is alive today, whoever he might be. And as soon as God allows the opportunity to occur, Satan's going to run this man onto the scene, and everybody's just going to think that he's wonderful. Now, how can this happen? Because Christianity and the Bible has been relegated to nothing, and secularism and humanism and human wisdom is reigning superior. So I would just ask you, and I ask people this all the time, what is different today than what was in place 50 or 60 years ago? You didn't see the kind of chaos that you see today. It wasn't evident when I was younger. What's different?
I mean, there's well, it wasn't as bad, but you've always had, you know.
You had some of it to a degree, but not to the degree you see today, Tyrone.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Even when you were younger, did you see the kind of craziness that you see in people today? And what is the difference? They've been dislodged from truth.
Right. I see, you know, even when we was living in Portland, I seen a lot of violence. People get killed.
You've had some semblance of that, but Christianity actually stopped a lot of that from absolutely accelerating.
Okay.
So, I mean, you do go back to the fact that we're in a fallen world from the time that Adam and Eve ate from that tree. Okay. We're in a fallen world, and people have a fallen nature. But in every society where you see Christianity entrenched, there is semblance of order in being able to tap down that sin nature and keep it under control. Once you remove that, it's Katie bar the door.
Yeah.
And that's what we have.
Okay.
And so now it's all subjective, right? So it doesn't matter who you are and what you do. You know, if you want to sleep with this person or sleep with this animal or whatever, it's all open. It's all subjective, right? How can I tell you, right? I can't tell you what to do. It's your thing. I can't tell you who to love.
Right now in the world today, this is what it's all about. This is what it's
right. And even that position that these people are taking, they don't realize they're being manipulated.
Exactly.
There are people who have interjected that into the system for the express purpose of manipulating people.
Right. But see, one thing about me though is I understand and I realize now from the studies that I've did, from the researches, that it's not all their fault. You understand what I'm saying? It's not. That's just like my dad. I was just over my dad's house the other day, and you know, he went through his little things, you know, with drugs and stuff in the street, and you know, my parents got divorced and stuff like that. And these are things that, you know, I try to tell my mom nowadays, because I just try to instill in her, and I've said it to her, like, you know, Mom, it really wasn't all his fault. Everybody does not has the strength, the power, and the will to get off of drugs. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody, they just don't have it. I can't bench press 500 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like you have, you know, there's a lot of drug addicts and stuff in every family, but other people look at it as, oh, he still mess with that stuff. I don't want him around me, or he could go this place and go that. But people have no idea the depths of addiction, brother. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but okay,
it's not all our faults.
Let's look at it this way. So the Bible describes things not from an addictive point of view, but from a fallen nature point of view. So if you look at Galatians 5, it gives 3 categories of behavior. It gives sexual behavior, it gives religious behavior, and it gives social behavior.
Okay.
Right? So even a lot of religion is nothing but the fallen nature of man. Do you know that man in his fallen nature wants to worship something?
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
So now 2 components it says that this fallen nature does is that it makes you have lust. That means that a lust is a craving for something.
Right.
And you always crave that which you can't have.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it also, that craving, once you have done it for so long, it becomes, guess what? You've heard this before. A passion.
Right.
And what is a passion? A passion, according to the Greeks, is the word pathos. It's a suffering. Something that I desire so much that it causes me to suffer when I don't have it.
Okay.
That's what they're calling addictions today. Now, why is that important to make that delineation? Because if you call something an addiction, I can't overcome it.
Right. Yep. Which I kind of disagree with that. I think people have the manpower and the will to overcome addiction.
There is the ability to overcome it, but I think that you overcome it by the power of God.
Yeah.
But these people think that you can will your way to do it. And have you ever had something that you wanted to stop doing and you tried to stop doing it and you just said, I'm just going to determine to tell myself not to do it? How did that go for you?
It didn't go well.
Right? And it's that fallen nature. So you need a power that is stronger than you. And that's one of the reasons why I think that AA has had some semblance of success, is they tell people that you don't have the ability to do it, that you have to rely upon some ability that you don't have. And some of the people that have embraced that have had success.
Right. I've thought plenty of times that, you know, I could do things myself, and it just never worked out. You know what I'm saying? It just never worked out. And
It seems like it makes you want it more, right?
exactly. It's like when you like if you're selling drugs, the more money you make, the more you're gonna want.
Right.
You know, and it was always that way for me. And I remember a guy that I used to get my drugs from when I first started selling drugs. He was telling me, he was like, you know, because I was telling him I just want this amount of money and then I'm done. He was like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. Some things in life to us are never enough. And I think it's just the sinful nature of man. You know what I'm saying? To always want more, whether it be money, whether it be sex, whether it be drugs, whether it be entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
You know how you can see that? You see in Hollywood, these guys have a beautiful wife or a beautiful, handsome husband or whatever. And you say, well, why would they play around? Because it's never enough.
It's never enough. Temptation.
Or you want more.
I kind of feel some way about that too. I feel like, you know, a married couple, even if y'all are at that status, y'all should branch yourselves away from people because the lust it's outrageous, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's overwhelming, especially to what Kevin Samuels would call a high valued man. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of men can't control their lust, just like the Bible. There were stories in the Bible. A lot of great men failed because of their lust. You understand what I'm saying?
But a lot of it is, you know, what I've learned over the years is a lot of it is it's not my power. I have to have an ability that God provides to be able to say no to it.
Right.
And so if you, it's a funny thing. It's kind of like when you told your kid when he was little, don't do that. Right. You look around, what did that kid want to do? He
gonna do it. Yeah, he gonna wait till you go around the corner and do it anyway.
Right.
That makes him want to do it more.
Versus, you know, saying, hey, this is not right to do.
Right.
It's a difference in approach. And when you understand somebody's not putting a law on me, telling me you better not do that or else, as opposed to allowing God to be able to provide the power to be able to say no to it.
Right.
And you say no to it, not because somebody tells me I can't do it, but because I don't want to do it.
Right. Yep. But it takes greatness and the power of the Most High for people to develop that type of thinking, saying, I don't want to do that. Because just for the same reasons that you said, because when you know that you're not supposed to do something, that's going to make you want to do it even more.
It's the forbidden fruit, right?
It's the forbidden fruit.
It looks so good when it's forbidden, right?
Right. And then a lot of times the stuff that we want, when we turn around and get it, it really don't even be what we thought it was. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and you know, you could see that with maybe somebody you wanted to date or whatever, and you put a high priority on it.
Right.
And you come to find out, man, I mean, this wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah, well, I didn't spent this amount of money. I didn't did all of this, and it wasn't even worth it. It wasn't even worth it. But I know you said you had to, you know, you had some things to do and you got to run. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and end the live session, but I want you to come back and I want to do a part 2 with you in the near future. I'm pretty sure you'll be available. I'm pretty sure you'll be available. But if you have any advice that you wanted to tell the people on the stream or the people on my page, I mean, if you have any advice, I would, you know, go ahead and take the floor and, you know, because I admire you. I really, really do admire you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But you know what my advice would be is that life is not complicated. It's not. I think people complicate life by trying to live apart from the provisions that God has given. That makes life very complicated.
Yes.
If you were to go back to the truth from God's word and you actually take God at his word, life will not be that complicated. It's not to say that there won't be problems in life, but you will have the power and the wisdom to know how to deal with it. So people have complicated their life because they bought a lie from the secularists, these people who are godless, who are trying to tell you how to have a good marriage, how to raise your kids, These people, Tyrone, can I say this? They're crazy people. You're listening to crazy people. And if you go back and you see it, man, it's the life of the people who have lived it, who understand how life works.
Okay. All right, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and end the chat now, and I'll speak with you later. But I do want you to come back and do a part 2 with me.
All right.
I want to thank you too, brother, for giving me your time and giving me your wisdom like you always have. But we'll be back for part 2, maybe in a week or 2 or whenever you have time.
Let me know when.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Thanks, bro. All right.
Bye.
All right, Kev.